Good morning. It's Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Oh, it's the 5th. Okay, I have to wish happy birthday to someone. I hope I don't forget over the course of this. So, okay, I'm here in the pottery. I'm dressed warmly because it is cold today. It's cold and wet and it's a really gross gray day. However, it's nice and toasty in here. We have it heated in here to 65 degrees, which is warmer than we keep our house, BT dubs. Okay, so we have this half of a clamshell dog crate with straw in it. This is where he's been hanging out, our little rambling. So this morning, I didn't do any filming this morning. It was a long morning. I'll get to that in a second. But I tubed him again. He offered no suckle. And then, for a different reason, the vet was here and she suggested that I dip the nipple of the bottle in sugar. So what I'm gonna do is just squirt out some of the milk here onto the lid, so the sugar has something to stick to, and then roll that in sugar. I don't know if you can see, but so I'm gonna see if he's more interested in it that way. He has a super poopy bottom. He has a coat on, but the full coat, not the modified summer wear coat, and he pooped all over it. So I gave him the cropped version while he was wearing. It's a little rough. I'm not super squeamish about lamb poop, but it is so smelly. I don't want it on my clothes. All right, let's try this, buddy. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Oh, maybe this is worthwhile. So he didn't really do much there. The hole in this nipple is small, but the milk does kind of flow out and it just kind of runs out of his mouth. Oh, good boy. All right. So that wasn't great. I don't know. So I'm gonna tube him. So one important key to tubing him is to take the lid off the milk first. There are other ways of tubing a lamb, but this one seemed like the least likely to cause trouble. So I'm just sticking the tube down his little throat. Well, he doesn't love it. I mean, and he might yell, but without tube feeding, he would be dead, yesterday. So, okay, so I'm trying to hold his head up and then get him to swallow the tube. Come on, baby. Swallow it. There we go. Okay, so you can feel the tube going down his esophagus if you put your fingers here on the left side, and then you push it down until the hash marks on the tube are no longer visible, which means that the tube is in far enough that you're not going to be pouring colostrum into his lungs. And then you fill the cup and lift it up high. The milk flows down his throat. So my plan for him is to tube him for as long as he needs it. The way he was looking last night, I didn't have high hopes that he would still be with us this morning. But as you can see, he's still here. And then you pull it out. And that is that. So I was just going to say pretty painless, but he would probably argue that. I'll get a close up. Here he is. Oh, he's a little bit messy. Poor little guy. Yeah. So back in the straw for you in your warm little room. He's kind of leaning into my scratches. That's kind of nice. Okay. All right, put him back. We got other hungry lambs to do. Okay, so I am gonna go feed our bummer lamb and also June's lambs from yesterday, and then I'll come back and do an update about the morning. Okay, I'm just waiting for the water to fill. Um, this morning, Chris and I came out, and there was a ewe. She was sleeping, and when we came in to turn the lights, she didn't move at all, and I was like, uh-oh. But she was breathing, so we were kind of like, oh, she's just sleeping really soundly. Well, she was sleeping soundly because she had been trying to push out a tangle of lambs for some time. Okay, so 3 times this season, we have had dead, tangled up twins that the ewes haven't been able to push out because of this situation where they are not dilating in a normal way. Obviously, the worst one and that's not counting our ewe who needed a C-section to get her baby out. She just had one giant baby. Yeah. So this is, 6 lambs that we've now lost. 6 otherwise healthy appearing lambs that we've lost because of this problem where the ewes aren't dilating enough to get the babies out. And then this morning, the thing is like, you know, we're asleep usually from 11 to 4. This morning we didn't get out here till about 4:30 by the time we made all the milk replacer and everything for everybody. And maybe we missed it last night. I don't think so. I mean, we have been watching these guys with an eagle eye. I've been bringing out this high-powered flashlight so that I can make sure that I get a good look at everybody and to try to avoid this situation. Because if the vet can come soon enough, then, you know, maybe somebody will survive. And yesterday morning, actually, the twins that I pulled yesterday morning had the same situation. Yeah, so I'm at least, anyway, we've had this failure to dilate fully. And I'm not necessarily talking about the cervix. I'm talking about the birth canal is not dilating. It's interesting. It's like, if you imagine the birth canal is a series of rings, some of them are dilating fine, but then there will be a tight ring 1 inch in, and a tight ring 2 inches in, and 3 tight rings 4 inches in. And I don't know if this is if they're slow to expand, if that's kind of the normal process, but they're just doing it so slowly that the lambs are suffocating, or I'm not sure. I need to do some research on this. The vets are definitely thinking about it and talking about it amongst themselves. However, they are so busy, and they don't just have our farm problems. They have everybody's farm problems, you know, this time of year, plus their own, right? One of them's brother's a dairyman. One of them owns a dairy herself. So they're busy. They're super busy. So anyway, I need to do some research to this, and we need to make sure that this season we get our ewes, number 1, in better condition weight-wise, and number 2, we need to look into making sure that our mineral supplement is suitable for what our pastures look like now. We did have soil studies done late last summer. I got them and I put them in my notebook, and I was like, I am going to adjust this at a later time. So I think this might be the time. The good news is that once we're done here, we've got a good long stretch until November, December, to work on refining that. Anyway, I have been watching some video back editing, trying to get caught up, and I realized that I feel like there's a lot of me boo-hooing or shaking my tiny fists about how badly the season's going, and I don't think that I really explicitly say. I'm trying to think of how many. Let me go back to the spreadsheet. 7 emergency vet calls. And actually, I think one of those ewes, the doc came out twice for. So 8. In past seasons, we have always done it all ourselves, except for the occasional help. And I'm talking about once from a local dairy farmer in a hard pull. And so this is it's pretty devastating. And every time I say something awful, I say, yeah. And then I smile like, eh. I feel like my therapist would have a lot to say about that. So anyway, I'm now gonna go in and top up water for everybody. I think they're still good on hay from this morning. Well, maybe our ewe who lambed this morning might need more hay. Yeah, so I'm gonna do water and then try and go back to the house for a couple hours and then do a full chores, you know, in kind of 4 hours from now. I'm worried about this boy, this little ramlet. Yeah, I tubed him the normal amount, and it is, okay, it's 10:30 now, so I probably tubed him at 10. The last time I had tubed him was at 4:30 this morning. He got fed first this morning. So, you know, I kind of, like, he has the coat on, and I was, like, busy fussing with the coat, like, cutting the poopy parts off and, like, getting everything set to tube him. After I tubed him, I looked, and his belly is so big. Maybe I can pick him up. So this kind of big, swollen belly, that's not normal. I should have noticed before I tubed him that he was still feeling full. I don't know what's going on with him. He's pooping, he's peeing, it smells like a barn in here. It is a barn, it's part of the problem. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I didn't kill him. Hopefully, as always, I'm just trying not to make the situation worse and giving him the best chance for, this season's so hard. Okay, I'm gonna take you in the barn. We can look at that little ewe who lambed this morning and look at the lambs. I did take a short video with my phone when I was in there, and everybody is pretty sleepy. They're having a lazy Sunday in here. We're having a sleepy day. We got a pile of lambs here. Rainy gray day. We've got a lot of makeshift things to block these guys from the drafts. Okay. Oh, we got Freckles yelling at her babies. She is always noisy. Okay, here's our lady who lambed this morning. Here's Bess. As always, keeping an eye on what's going on in here. All right, here she is. She needs water and hay. She's such a sweet ewe. I think she might have been a bottle baby from previous seasons. Yeah, Carla, I think is what I call her. Anyway, she's so sweet. I would have loved to have her lambs. I think she would have loved to have her lambs. But the good news is that she's looking fantastic. As with everyone, she got the cocktail of antibiotics, and see, she keeps coming over for scratches. She's such a sweetie. Yeah, so she's got antibiotics and pain meds. She might need both for a couple days, so we are going to keep her penned. We are going to try to get her out of this pen as quickly as possible. When we first started with sheep, we built these wooden pens. We use them both for our chute, for our, handling system. And we also use them for lambing jugs, double duty. It was a pretty economical solution for us. And then we could buy this hardware. You can see right here, this hardware, and then these posts. So they would link all together just like commercial sheep handling equipment would. And they worked pretty well. There are a couple drawbacks to them though. They're a little tall. They're hard to climb for me. And the spacing between the boards is tight because we didn't want lambs to escape, but also it's too tight to get my work boot between the bottom one easily. So that makes it hard. That makes it even harder for me to climb. and in a less self-centered way, they're also not great for sheep. They don't love to run into a pen that they can't see out of. So like all of this behind me is very open. So they'll go into it more willingly. All of this behind me cost a ton of money and had to be trucked from Manitoba. So we made do with this, but yeah, they don't love being in here, and you can tell that she doesn't love being in here. She seems agitated. I see her on the cameras. She puts her little feet up on the rails and looks out. She doesn't like it. Speaking of lambs, oh, here's number 2, chomping at the bit to escape. Here's all the babies sacked out with their mamas. Here's Freckles and her babies. Baby 1. And this baby has spotted like the cow. Oh, there. Can you see it? Kind of. I don't have the heart to wake her up. Freckles. Is everything okay? Do you have something on your head and it's bothering you? Oh, you're all wet. Is that better? Is that better? I'm not sure if you can see, but this is that you trying to get out of this pen. I mean, I guess she looks pretty good. I could just spray her and let her go. I think that's what I'll do. Also, this you who's in the pen, her BFF is this you, baby Jessica. And baby Jessica wasn't bred, and she has been waiting all morning for her buddy. So I think I've said this before, but I've been spraying a big blue dot on the backs of the ewes who have already lambed but don't have lambs. Now I'm regretting that. I think she realizes that now she's out, that was a bad choice, and that the farmer should have known better. I'm gonna sneak around. I'm gonna sneak around back here behind the handling system, and then I'm gonna close the gate on her to keep her in this area between the maternity ward is on this side, and that's the gate to the walkway. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna look at these ewes, and if nobody's in labor, I'm going in. Okay, it is Sunday night, 10:30ish. So the little rambling, he's not looking good. I mean, I know I say this every day. When we came out 4 hours ago, I didn't offer him anything. Now it does feel like his belly is full of air, like he's bloated. So what we're gonna try as a Hail Mary kind of effort is to tube him with some baking soda slurry. So just baking soda and water. I actually keep a jar of it out here in case we have a bloat. Bloat is really hard to treat, but it makes me feel like I am at least doing something. So right now this is the jar. You can't see it because I have it warming up in a bucket of hot water from the tea kettle. I definitely don't want to tube him with anything colder than body temperature because then because we have a hard enough time keeping him warm. Although I think he's been great today, but he has been in this room that has a little bit of heat in it. We have the heat set to 60 in here, and well, that means it's 50. But he does have a jacket on. Okay, so I'm gonna fill waters inside the barn, and then I'll check this to see if it's warm enough. Hi, future Trisha here. I don't know what happened to the footage. That was the end of this day, but I had too much to say to just put in a slide here. So we did tube the Ramlet with the warmed up baking soda slurry on that day. And that seemed really successful. I don't know if it was the act of tubing him that helped to relieve more gas or the baking soda, but either way he was looking better and his belly was feeling softer before we went to bed that night. So I just didn't want to leave that hanging. I probably talk about it first thing the next day, but I didn't want to end a video like that. That's all from future Trisha for now.